So today I decided to make a tier list on cartoon characters that have godlike power or are gods or are extra dimensional, etc. And obviously this doesn't even have like all the big characters, it just has all the characters that I could come up with in a very short amount of time. So we will have Alien X or Teen Titans Go or Bill Cipher or Adventure Time characters or Star Versus characters or even Marvel MCU characters, but it might not have someone you think of as a very important character. So some of the characters that I have on this tier list that off the bat are like on the bottom tier are Love God from Gravity Falls. He hasn't done anything to be worthy of anything. Death from regular show. At most you could say that like Mordecai and Rigby are planet level for surviving a planet exploding, and he's stronger than them. I think the Beyonder in Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur threatens to make the Earth disappear, but to be fair I haven't watched the whole show, so maybe he has other feats, but that's as far as I'm aware. And then there's Party God from Adventure Time, who got his ass beat by Ice King, so he's not really that impressive. At most you could say he's like moon to like planet level, maybe. And then we have what I like to call stellar level threats. Characters like Aku, or not necessarily Aku himself, but I guess his original darkness that he originates from. Then you have the Dagon from Ben 10, because he at the very least fights Weibig, who's like planet level. And then there's Ultimate Weibig, who should be stronger and approaching like star level. Then you have Anti-Monitor Aya from Relented Animated Series, who's basically able to destroy stars and stuff. And you have him from the Powerpuff Girls, because he literally casually stops either the sun or the earth from moving, whichever it is. Very impressive. Even in the reboot, the Powerpuff Girls can like move Jupiter, which is very big, casually, and he's way stronger than them. So that tells you about how strong he is. And then we have, King, the Collector, the Archivist, and the Titan all around this area, because Titans fight Collectors or can fight Collectors, and it seems like Collectors are strong enough that they can move entire constellations, right? So at the very least I would say they're like star level, multi-star level. On the tier above I would have characters that are like universe level at the very least. So you have the End of Time from Future Worm, who is literally the end of the universe. Cosmic Owl from Adventure Time. We know he's at least galaxy level because he has a stove that is a galaxy, but he's probably way stronger than that. He at least can affect characters like the Lich with his premonitions, meaning that he's at least able to manipulate him. And this is me kind of lowballing it. And of course we also have the Lich from Adventure Time and the Citadel Guardians. The Citadel Guardians are able to imprison cosmic criminals that, do cosmic crimes, so it makes sense to be here. And Lich is here because of his scaling now. It's arguable that he could be like on the tier below or on tier here. It depends on if you think characters in Adventure Time are planet level or like universe level. Really up to you. Garmadon at his full strength should be here, because in Ninjago, the Master of Spinjitzu literally created like realms. The Golden Ninja has the power of him, and there's a whole plotline about like, universes or realms merging or being created or destroyed, whatever. Characters in this show at their peak are strong enough to be like universe level at least. Oropo from Wakfu basically destroyed the universe, so he should be here. Siri from Last Man should be here because her RAM is weird, might be able to like eat or destroy the universe. It's really hard to understand because they never really showcase the powers, the full power of any of those characters, any of those creatures. but at full power, in theory, should be able to like eat the universe or something like that. So at her full potential, she could be a universal level threat. Equinox is also a universal level threat in his final form. So that's about it. There's now not a lot to talk about. He's just a universal level reality warper. And Uncle Grandpa shaves the universe, as I mentioned in multiple videos, makes sense. A tier above that, I would have characters who are like multi-universal at the very least. They're not quite like infinite universal. They can destroy or create an infinite amount of universes, but more than 2 and, less than an infinite. So for example, you have Lloyd from Ninjago, who has his peak, as I mentioned earlier, has the power of the... Well, I didn't mention earlier this, but I mentioned the power of the first Ninjutsu Master. But at his peak, he has the power of the first Ninjutsu Master. The first Ninjutsu Master has created realms, like the realm of Ninjago has merged realms, or at this level of power in the series, you could destroy realms. So it makes sense for him to be multi-universal with the golden power, which is in theory the power of the first Ninjutsu Master. And right from its other Lego show, it's Lady Bone Demon, because basically at her full power, at the most powerful she was in the series, she was threatening to destroy multiple realms, which includes like the physical realm, the realm of the living where people live, but as well as like the heavens where you have all those gods and everything is on a larger scale. The way I like to look at it is like in that one episode when someone from the spirit realm, heavenly realm, whatever it's called, drops a dumpling from heaven right down, and when it coming down to earth, it looks like a gigantic meteorite. And that's kind of the difference in scale between like heaven and earth. And Earth is obviously in the physical universe, which is a normal universe. So heaven should be at least way bigger. And then there's that one book that holds like multiple dimensions or universes within itself. Yeah, whatever. Those characters, her strongest should be at least like multiversal. Then we have Adventure Time characters. So we have Death, because Death is able to create and destroy his dead worlds or manipulate his dead worlds. There's 50 of them. Each of them are universal in size, at least in my opinion. I'm going to talk about it in my Adventure Time cosmology video, and it really depends when that comes out. It might come out after this video, it might come out before this video. Whatever that comes out, I'm going to talk about the cosmology of Adventure Time. I'm going to talk about the dead worlds and why they're each one universe each. So 50 of them means that he should be multiversal, at least in the dead worlds. Within his dead worlds, that should be within his realm. He should be multiversal. Then there is the Scarab, who is on par with Prismo. Just objectively speaking, from the creator of the show, he's on par with Prismo. And he himself has a weapon that can erase like realities, like whole universes from existence. So at the very least, you could say he's universal through his abilities, because he can erase universes and reality itself. But then if you compare him to Prismo, and we take at face value the statement that he's on the level of Prismo, and the fact that he basically just defeats Prismo as well, Prismo is strong enough to destroy universes, timelines, multiple at once, and doesn't even care. And each of those universes have their own 50 dead worlds with their own death, meaning that Prismo destroying 2 universes, it's more like 100 actually. So Scarab being on his level, puts him this high. Same with Orbo and Golb. They're both stronger than Scarab. You could argue honestly between who's stronger, Orbo or Golb, and I think it's a genuine debate, because Orbo can like reality warp Scarab very easily, but you have Golb, who tries to like destroy him but can't, because Scarab is immortal. So you have a dynamic there where you could argue that maybe Orbo's stronger because he has greater control over Scarab. Or you could argue that, like, Golb wasn't trying, maybe, or he was not trying to destroy him, just to fend him off or something. Whatever it is, those characters should be here. There's some people who think Golb is like multiversal plus, meaning that he can destroy like infinite universes, or he's higher dimensional. And there's some like small arguments for that, but nothing too crazy, nothing big enough to say, yeah, it's true. Most of them are just inferring that, hey, he's very strong, so he should be this level of power. But there's nothing to suggest that. This tier above is characters who are like infinite universe level, infinite amount of times universal. They're beyond just any number of the destroying of any number of universes. Here I have Time Baby, and I forgot his name from. Goddamn, I really forgot his name, and I knew his name from the Henchmaniacs, Bill's friends. The reason why Time Baby is here is because he oversees all infinite timelines and Gravity Falls. And also, I mean, if we're being honest, he should be way higher, okay? Because he fought Bill, who is, you'll see, way higher on the list. I'm kind of just putting him here to say that at a bare minimum, he is an infinite universe level threat. But he could be like 1 or 2 steps above this, actually. And the reason why Bill's friend is here is because he literally punched the out of Time Baby, and actually that's what put him on Earth in Antarctica like many years ago, and also killed the dinosaurs. Then there is the Time Titans from Adventure Time. It's really not known. They're so far I'm thinking they're stronger than characters like Prismo, Scarab, and even like Orbo or even Golb. So far that's what I'm thinking right now, because of their vastness and their ability to basically affect the whole multiverse of Adventure Time, which no other character outside of the boss himself has done. So it could go either way. You could argue that they're like below, or you could argue that to bring Golb and Orbo here. But yeah, so far they seem to be the strongest because they are the ones creating the time that runs to every universe, meaning that not only they have multiversal range, but they affect those universes on a fundamental level. They're a fundamental aspect of each of those universes, and that's only from them hitting each other, right? It's not even them like being drained by no, they hit each other, and the waves from their hits create time experienced in the multiverse. Yeah, so whatever, you could put them higher, you can put them lower, or could put Golb here. This depends on your interpretation. And then you have the Star vs. characters like Omnitrexus Prime, who embodies infinite universes or timelines or whatever. He's literally the multiverse itself, the embodiment of the multiverse. Then you have Ludo / Toffee with the wand, which defeats him. And then you have Glassoric, who created him and is basically the embodiment of magic, the abstract concept of magic given life. And he's obviously multiversal, infinite universal, because he's stronger than anybody in the show, and Omnitrexus Prime is infinite universal himself. And this tier above is like has a lot of people, but it's easier to determine because all the characters here are 5-dimensional. So when we look at like the Watcher, he's 5-dimensional. That's about it. We look at the Joker, he stole Batmite's powers, so he's 5th dimensional. Easy enough. Quantumania from Ben 10, 5th dimensional. Easy enough. Doctor Strange and Ultron fight the Watcher, or at least fight each other, and the Watcher. 5th dimensional. Makes sense. So far, very easy. The Dragon and Mother from Wakfu are higher dimensional as well. Now, they could be 5th dimensional, arguably they're like 6 or 7, so they could be a tier above. But I put them here to be sure because I'm not an expert on Wakfu. I just watched the show and read a bit of the lore, so I'm gonna put them here because I'm not an expert. Then we have in the same tier, but at the very top, you have Teen Titans Go characters. So you have the God of Magic, who's stronger than Raven, and is where Raven's powers come from. And then you have Trigon, who's able to defeat Mr. Mixie, who's a 5th dimensional imp, making Trigon 5th dimensional at the least. And then Raven as the Unkindness, who's able to fight this Trigon, or Hexagon, whatever you call him, making her also above 5th dimensional due to being stronger than Mr. Mixie. And then we have Strike from Crossover Nexus, who is individually stronger than Raven, though Raven is the kind of the only person in all of these crossovers that actually fought back. He's like still kind of stronger than him individually, and he's just a very strong guy. He literally almost soloed the Cartoon Network multiverse. After that, we have Amazo from the DC animated universe. You might think, why is he here? What did he do? Well, in the comics, which are canon, he actually goes beyond time and space, and we know that in the DC animated universe, you have characters like Mr. Mixie, who is like 5th dimensional. Well, if Amazo goes beyond time and space, that means that he must have at least been gone to the 5th dimensional dimension, if not to a 6th dimension, like even higher than that. And then he becomes strong enough that another version of himself is infinitely more powerful than him, and then he becomes infinitely more powerful than that version. So arguably, you could argue he's like 7th dimensional by this point. It's kind of crazy. Then there's Bill Cipher and the Beast from Gravity Falls. I put him here because, you know, he's at least like 7th dimensional. And the Beast is it's put on the same level of threat as him. So I would argue that the Beast is probably on the same level. The Guardian and the Axolotl from Amphibia. If we argue that Amphibia and Gravity Falls share the same multiverse, them being beyond space and time both means that they're outside whatever cosmology there is in this multiverse. Also, Axolotl directly is stronger than Bill Cipher. And then at the end we have Alien X, who is at least 5th dimensional or more, 6th dimensional perhaps, and at the most you could say he's 27th or 26th dimensional, which is about as strong as any character has ever been in cartoons. So he deserves to be on top, and arguably Villainous could be here due to him being confident that he can take on, and narratively speaking, he can take on any character from Cartoon Network. So because Alien X is a Cartoon Network character, you could argue that Black Hat is stronger than him, so he should be here as well, at a 27-dimensional tier, I guess. And that's about it. This is the Cartoon Gods tier list.